What's good, YouTube? This is Declan from Team Starlight, and today we've got EDI-SZN Week 6, Round 2. Clayton on the left is playing Lightsworn, and Brian on the right is playing Gladiator Beasts. And we got George here, and we're off to the races with the Gold Sark for Solar Recharge.
What's up, y'all? Solar recharge, not super common. I feel like most of the time you'd search for charge. So I'm wondering if I'm assuming he has like a wolf in hand or something he wants to pitch. Speaking of wolf,
That's
there it
huge.
goes. Against Glads, that is huge. That's like runs over any monster in the deck, basically. So pretty favorable to mill one of those early on.
Yep. Probably just swing in here and trade with a back row, though, realistically. Let's see. Book of Moon.
Book of
That's
Moon.
actually pretty good. Because now that's
Yeah.
going to be a guaranteed run over. Okay, but Lila, the other back row, that's nice.
Yeah, makes sense. If you already have a monster you know that a Glad Beast is going to attack into, you might as well just pop the other back row, which is otherwise pretty awkward. But yeah, a quest going to run over the wolf and thinking if he wants to go Ready Ari to banish would be pretty good because the Lila can't switch to attack to run it over. So unless he can answer that Ready Ari, it'd basically be guaranteed second tag out in the following turn. So he's going to go that route, keep JD off, which I imagine would be a pretty big problem to deal with for Gladiator Beast if you don't have something like Chariot. And we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, you would like to go Murmillo and get it off the field, but then you put him on 4, which is just not... Oh, he's going to take away the Sangan. Interesting. So just to keep him off potential Chaos Sorcerer. Fire off the heavy just as soon as he shotguns it, but the Solemn Judgment's going to be used.
Of course. Makes sense.
And Brian being a good Samaritan, reminding Clayton, oh, you added Solo Recharge. You can go for that. But interesting that he's not... Okay, of course. There it is. Pitching Lumina.
So that's interesting. I'm wondering why you would search for that recharge over just a regular charge to maybe get a better Lightsworn. I just figured he had Wolf to pitch to make the recharge live, but regardless, we've got Lightning Vortex. He's going to book his own Ready Ari, but we've got JD now. It looks like it's a fest. He's going to pay
this is going to go through.
Compulse.
Ooh.
Interesting.
That doesn't feel that good.
So, yeah, I think we're just going to skip to the next game. So, game 2, JD and Wolf was too much to handle. That Wolf put in a lot of work early on. We'll see. We've got a Laquari and 4 back rows. So, maybe a Starlight Road. We're about to find out. There it is.
I love that from Clayton. Like, don't even think about it. Just shotgun that. Like, who cares?
Yep. There is, I see Decree in his hand though, so there is an argument to maybe setting the Decree and then playing heavy on the following turn, especially if he has that Mirror Force, which I also see. But he's gonna just set everything.
Right. No, yeah, but I love that. I just meant I love the gusto. But yeah. I think you raise a good point.
It's really risky because that extra turn is potentially an attack with a Glad Beast. We've got Defissure coming out, which is pretty problematic for Lightsworns, banishing all of those mills. And he's thinking gonna get an attack that's gonna go trade with the Stardust. Obviously that Stardust is not coming back.
I wonder why he didn't just summon that why he didn't just summon the Glad Beast in hand, with the Stardust on board. I'd be feeling a little no fear, but
yeah,
still gonna be good for him because we're gonna get the bestie popping the Decree, so that's
brutal.
Awful.
Yep, and things look like they might get out of hand real fast. We've actually got a main 2 summon a quest pass, so interesting. Unfortunately, Lightsworn player seems like he just passed his turn, and we got the Rescue Cat ripped off the top. And this just has to be over, right? What can you
Secutor.
draw?
Secutor maybe right here, just to get like 5 Glads on board, essentially, I would
Yeah.
imagine. Oh, what?
Does Test Tiger have to go to grave? Surely not, right?
I think it's just like tribute per cost. I don't think it's necessarily needs to. Maybe I'm wrong.
I need to
Gotta.
read this card right
Yeah,
now.
hold on. Yeah. Are you looking it up?
I am looking it up.
Okay, you go on that.
Yeah,
So he
it
went.
just says to tribute this card. Yeah. So super interesting to just keep it up. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
I'm
not
no
sure.
expert. Yeah, I'm not really an expert on this deck, but we'll see if it comes up, if we can figure out why that is. Maybe he just feels like he's so far ahead, he wants to just have the Test Tiger, and he changed his mind after he brought it out. Who knows? But I would be feeling pretty safe too with D Fissure out, 3 Glads, Test Tiger, and 3 back row.
Yep, I don't think it's really gonna matter. Let's see. So I think he's thinking now if he wants to use the Test Tiger. Otherwise, it's just gonna die in the end phase. Um,
Interesting. And he chooses to let it die. Well, we've got in
Realistically, I don't know if it
response.
matters. We'll let.
Yeah. We've
I
got
don't know.
Hurt coming out.
I don't really see the downside, but it doesn't matter because that's gonna be game. So we're going into game 3 here, and I did see Brian open that rescue cat, which is a feels
Yep.
good, man. If you're okay, but also a solar recharge on the other side, so pretty good opening hands on both sides.
We're going to get a set Decree and not setting the Book of Moon. It's interesting. Decree feels really tough in this matchup when they have Bestiari because you have to protect your monsters or that card's just never going to stay up. And we'll see
Yep.
if he slams the Rescue Cat or he's considering just playing Heavy Storm. Pop the Decree, just no fear. At this point, there's really not much Lightsworn player can have, especially if they're not playing Herald, which I don't think he is. But it seems like he's considering that he might still be playing Herald. He's just going to go Darius and go the safer route. Another
Yeah, I mean,
wolf
going
build.
rescue cat, there's not really a lot that you can get. Oh, I definitely would have. Oh, I guess maybe he doesn't want to. This makes sense for me actually. You want to make sure your D Fissure stays. That's why you didn't activate it before attacking. I can see that.
Yeah, the time or the order makes sense. So he's got to deal with this D Fissure now. Thankfully, the wolf that he milled should keep him alive as long as he can follow it up with something.
Now the question is, do you just not attack here because you Gold Sark for Heavy Storm and maybe you don't? Okay, no fear and thankfully no trap, so it doesn't matter. But I was thinking like maybe it makes sense to just like sit on your giant monster because he obviously doesn't know he has cat, right? But
Yeah.
of course he has the cat, so let's see.
And I saw a Book of Moon set, which seems pretty good into what's about to happen. We've got the Test Tiger, Sam Knight coming out. He's going to use Test Tiger.
No chain book.
Yeah, if you use Book of Moon, the Test Tiger should just fizzle, right? Am I wrong?
I believe that's how it works. We would need a judge in the comment section to confirm that. So please let us know in the comments. But yeah, I think if that is the way it works, you definitely book the monster because then your wolf can
100%.
just run it over the next turn.
Yeah, pretty tough. But obviously having the book now is going to be fine. Maybe he wanted to wait to use it so he could guarantee to out this Glad by popping a back row. I was going to say, it seems like it would make more sense if he's going that route to pop a back row he doesn't know about. You're getting the Heavy Storm in a turn. So unless the D Fissure is super important to get rid of, he's actually going to choose to out the monster, and he mills 2 names in Plague. So Maybe popping the D-Fissure would have actually been really nice, but you just can't know. Gonna attack
Yeah,
for
I mean,
200.
he's getting the heavy storm next turn, so like I don't hate it, but I think Brian just drew Starlight Road, which was insane right the turn before the heavy gets to hand.
Yeah,
That's
brutal.
wild. Maybe he had Solemn already, so he was gonna still be able to protect it, but that is gonna go hard as hell right now.
And he's not slamming the heavy storm this time, so he might actually be a little fearful of Starlight Road.
Oh,
He
not
popped
hitting the new
Bottomless
one.
and milling a bunch of really good monsters again. Yeah, he's definitely thinking about this play. I mean, there is the road. I think it might have been safer to book Raiko first because he could book that old Raiko and then reflip it, right? Maybe hitting another back row and then going into heavy. Because if you see 4 back row, you have to assume there's some like Solemn or Road or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate not doing that because if you miss again, then it just feels awful. Because if you let's say you missed again, are you gonna just
Right.
do heavy for 2 and then go and then maybe fall into the same trap? But it's hindsight. Who knows? But
Right.
obviously Brian is kind of clawing his way back into this game, where it felt like Clayton was on top, but now we're gonna get into a situation where Clayton's got a good amount of his like strong boss monsters banished. Okay, wait, we're getting Raiko attack. So surely this is honest in hand. Doesn't make any
Yep.
sense otherwise.
Just checking graveyard. Doesn't see an honest there, so he can't play any odds if it's like a bluff or not. He's gonna just say, sure, if you have it, you have it, and he does. So it's gonna out the Stardust, which is pretty good.
The only
And
thing about this play that I don't love is now it's like if Brian top decks a Glad Beast, he just gets to run over the Raiko for free and get
yeah,
value. But thankfully for Clayton, no top deck of a Glad. So just keep it moving.
recharge, that's good. And that's the second JD gone, and he also milled Reincarnation. So unless he plays Beckoning, he might not be able to get those JDs back. But he's got Jane. Looks like it's gonna trade, or maybe not. He's actually gonna let it go through. Taking 1800, setting a back row, and milling 2 cards.
Oh, and just another spell from Brian. So really not lucky here, not being able to get Glads on the field to get back into the game here. But Clayton having a hard time finishing him off.
Right. Yeah, it's tough because Clayton has been pretty vulnerable to like you said, if he just has a Glad, he can run over this Raiko that's just been sitting on the board. But that's just kind of what's going to happen. I don't know Brian's ratios in his build for Glads, but you don't really run that many. It's mostly spell and trap, so you're just going to have games like this, especially when he's used a lot of those monsters early on. But we've got to think here. It looks like he's just going to swing.
Now, what do you think that set monster is? Could it be another? I mean, it's unlikely to be the third Raiko, just by statistics wise.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ooh,
okay,
and
but
that is not a lot of cards left. He's got to close this game out. We've got another set back row.
surely this is just game, right? Because he's only
That
at
was a
17.
bottomless.
He's only at 17. Okay, Wabaku. That's what's gonna keep him alive.
I like it. Holding the Wabaku for the very last moment. So potentially, if he can stall with maybe another top deck Wabaku or something, he might be able to just win through deck out. There's 2 cards left.
Oh man,
Let's
that
see what he
means one
draws.
turn left.
MST the back
MS
row. Laquari, it's here. The Glad is here. Smart to just hit the Raiko. You don't care about the back row right now. I would even leave the Jane up, to be honest, because that's a win condition to just keep the Jane on board. He mills his last 2 cards and then he loses.
Exactly. You can just go for like Hoplimus here, or maybe. Alright, I see a quest. That
The
makes sense.
quest,
Just get about more value.
yep. Hoplimus would be good too, but he's going to set another back row. Lightning Vortex coming in. Pitching Honest. That's really interesting, because that could have been. Well, I guess he's just saying this game's over this turn, so we'll see. You
Damn,
have to flip
what
it.
is that set monster? Okay, shrink.
Shrink.
Wow. So that's gonna keep him alive. But that's
Wow,
gonna be
and
game. Surely.
you have to get rid of the Jane. Yep, that's it.
Oh
Wow.
no. But he had Wabaku set, so it doesn't even matter. Okay. GG's.